All right, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Today's webinar is creating custom dashboards in Microsoft Project Pro 2016. It is noon, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I know time is extremely valuable to all of you that are dialing in, so I want to keep this to an hour. So my name is Laura Crawford, and I will be your facilitator for today's session. So I just wanted to welcome you. Let's go ahead and talk about some of our upcoming events. Today's session is on here, but you'll see that we have two more coming up in January. We only have one for the month of December, and that is because it's a very busy month. So we realize that everyone's got a lot of things going on. So we only have one webinar this month, but we'll pick back up with two in January. On the 11th, we'll have creating custom tables and views in Project Professional, which will actually tie into today's session as well. And then on the 25th, we'll talk about SharePoint project site templates. All right, we'll show you how to develop those, give you some of our best practices, and hopefully you can join us for those as well. All right, a little bit about me. I'm a senior PPM specialist with PPM Works. A lot of PPMs in that one sentence. I have almost 8 years experience in the tool. I actually do live, eat, and breathe in this tool. So I create projects in Project Professional. I publish them to Project Online. I create reports, you name it. I fill out a timesheet each week. So we actually live, eat, and breathe in this tool. I do have my certifications going all the way back to 2007. So configuration, project server, and Microsoft Project. There's 3 exams for 7, 10, 13. I think I just took the configuration one for 13. I'm not sure. I can't remember. No, I did both. And then also for 2016. So if you have any questions about anything that we covered today, or you want to get certified in the tool, you're not sure how to do it, or you'd like to have a boot camp training session with me, we'd be happy to set that up. We have a few Microsoft certified trainers on staff on one of them, so we can certainly work that out, or with you, either yourself or a team. Maybe there's others in your organization. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to email us at info@ppmworks.com. And the way I usually structure this session, again, if you're joining after I got past that initial intro slide, my name is Laura Crawford, and I do want to welcome you to the session here. I will try and take questions towards the end. It's much easier for me to kind of go through and monitor the questions as I'm demoing, but sometimes I'll admit I get a little passionate and get a little involved, and I might not see your question. So I do try and stop towards the end and save about 5 to 10 minutes for questions. And I also realize that you might not have any questions right now, but you're going to be really excited about what I share with you today, and you're going to want to jump right in there. And after you leave later on, when you have a moment, you want to practice what I've shown you today, and you're struggling or you have questions, again, just go ahead and reach out to us at info@ppmworks.com, and we'll be sure to answer those questions for you. All right, so why PPM Works? Why are we doing this? Well, we are a gold certified Microsoft partner. So to become a gold certified partner, that means that we have maintained a lot of competencies. One are those exams that I mentioned. We also have our staff has to also attain those goals as well. And then we also have to prove that our consulting skills are what we say they are. So our customers are interviewed and surveyed by Microsoft every couple of years to make sure, it's actually I think every 3 years, to make sure that we are still worthy of that status. So we're real proud of that. All right, so clients choose us because we are, as I said, we live, eat, and breathe in this tool. So we're going to give you real world experience and recommendations, all right? We also have a proven methodology and very competitive pricing. So please reach out to us if you have any interest in learning more about the tool and having a demo. Happy to do that as well. All right, so let's talk a little bit about our learning objectives for today. For those of you that are PMPs and want PDUs, you'll certainly be able to obtain those at the end. You, again, email us at info@ppmworks.com. We've submitted this courseware to PMI, so we are registered education providers, which is another reason why you might want us to come on site and do some training for you or do some virtual training. You do receive PDUs for our training. All right, so our learning objectives. we're going to show you some of the new reporting in Project Pro 2016. It's pretty exciting, so I think you're really going to enjoy what you're seeing. I'm certain that you're going to want to test the waters after this webinar. All right, so again, if you have questions, reach out to us. But at the end of the session, you're going to be able to edit existing reports that are with Project Professional. You're also going to be able to create a custom dashboard and custom reports. And then I'm going to show you how to leverage the organizer to share those reports with either your team or also from project to project. If you're not using Project Online or Project Server yet, have no fear. You can transfer these reports from one project to the other. All right, so we want you to get started right away in creating these reports. So let's go over our agenda real quick. I've gone through the introductions. We're going to go through an overview of the new reports. So I'm going to show you what's out there. Then we're also going to edit some existing reports. That's where we're going to start. Then we're going to create a new report. And I'm going to show you how to create a new dashboard. And while I'm doing this, we'll talk about leveraging the organizer. And then again, we're going to save those last 5 to 10 minutes for question and answer, depending upon how much content we get through today. All right, so our session goals, we're always trying to improve your custom reporting. We're going to equip you to get started today and also make the most of your time, right? We want you to get in and out in an hour and walk away understanding about these new reports and being able to make some changes right away in your own project, in your own version of project. All right, so we're going to look at project reports in Project Professional 2016, but if you have 2013, this is also applicable. The reports did not change. All right, so have no fear if you're not using 2016 yet. If you're using 2013, you'll recognize these reports as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my project that I have open already on the screen here, and we'll go ahead and jump right in. All right, so from here on in, we're just going to demo within the tool. Now, if you're using an older version of Microsoft Project, such as 2010, you'll note that you will not have this report tab up here. All right, there is a brand new report ribbon in report from Project Pro 2013 and also 2016. It also comes with Project Standard too. All right, so all right, let me just jump in here. Okay, so I have my project open. This is just a very basic project that I actually created from the default templates that are back in here. So if I go back in here and do File New, I just created one from a market research project plan here just for demonstration purposes for today. All right, so I have my project plan in here. I do have some progress in this project. I also have baselined my project, all right? That's something that you're going to want to do when you start creating reports, all right? So those of you that are familiar with the reporting ribbon here, you'll see that from 2013 going forward, there's a brand new ribbon for reports. You may not, hopefully you've gone in here and you've tried to get started, or you've tried and taken a look at some of the report templates that are in here for you. But let me go ahead and point out some before we get started. Getting started, let's take a look here. These are some really good reports, especially if you're new to project or if you're actually even experienced with using the tool. They're really good at picking up some things that you may have missed, all right? One of these that I really like is the best practice analyzer. I'll just go through these real quick, all right? Best practice analyzer, you'll see that if there's tasks with no actual work, they'll show up here. So that means there's tasks in your project that no one started working on just yet. But this is a good one, tasks with no resources assigned. So you shouldn't be seeing anything but your summary tasks in here. So if you have a bunch of tasks in here that do not have resources assigned, you need to go back into your Gantt chart view, locate those tasks, and then make sure that you have resources assigned to them. All right, the other thing is tasks with duration less than 8 hours. This might not be a red flag for you. I typically adjust my duration down to 0.25 or 0.5 for project planning. But you'll see here that it may note that if it's 0, for instance, it'll point out tasks that you may need to go back and review. Also, summary tasks with assigned resources. That's a big no-no. You should not be assigning resources to summary tasks. So again, this is just the best practice analyzer report here under Getting Started. And then I'll also point out one more getting started report, and then we'll get into some of the other reports here, and we'll show you how you can edit them as well. But you'll see here, this is a great little tutorial. Welcome to project. Take your project to the next level in 3 simple steps. And you can go through and click on start, and it'll take you through a nice little tutorial here. All right, so these are now hidden and tucked away under the Getting Started section on your reporting ribbon. All right, so I do encourage you to come out here and take a look at those. All right, now those of you that are using project 2010 or 7 or 13, you may be familiar with the visual reports. These are those pivot tables. They're Excel reports that are here in Microsoft Project and available. They are still here and available to you. We're not going to focus on these reports though. What we're going to be focusing on are these new reports here in the reporting ribbon. All right, so we're gonna stick with these here. All right, so let's point out some new ones here. If I open up the dashboard, you'll see that you now have a burn down report. So if you are baselining your projects, as I said earlier, you can actually take a look and see what your burn rate is in your given project here. We'll also be looking at the project overview report in just a moment, but you'll see that I also have resource reports as well, where I can see overallocated resources and a resource overview. There's some cost reports in here too. So if I'm tracking earned value, now in order to do that, again, baseline is a common denominator in all of these reports. You're going to want to baseline your projects so that you have that snapshot of what you plan to happen, so you can track variance, you can track earned value, and throughout these different reports. In progress, you'll see you can take a look at critical tasks, late tasks, or milestones, and those that are slipping, all right? So again, these are great built-in reports. So let me go ahead and click on slipping right here. So you can see where I have some tasks that are slipping, all right? So the finish date is past the baseline finish date, all right? So this is going to flag those tasks for me. So I may need to go in and either have a talk with myself and Jennifer to figure out what we can do, or add some additional resources in here. All right, so there's some great reports that are here ready for you out of the box. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and take a look at one of the dashboard reports. Let's go to the project overview report. All right, and okay, so I'm going to go ahead and check out my project just so I can start working on this. So this is your default project overview report. Let me make it a little bit smaller so we can fit everything in here a little bit easier. Okay, so you'll see it is a dashboard report. It has multiple charts in here, or tables. So we have a milestone due report down here. We have percent complete at the phase level here. We also have a list of tasks that are past due, so something that was supposed to have worked, that was supposed to happen in the past, will be also displayed here. And we can also see that the overall percent complete for the project is at 7%. All right, so each of these though, and let me make this just a little bit bigger. All right, each of these areas, these are several components to this report. It is a dashboard, so each of these are separate. These are very, very customizable. As you can see, all I did is click in the percent complete. It is now at 7%. And I do get this field list over here where I can toggle between task fields and resource fields. And also if I scroll through, we'll see here that I have percent complete here selected, and that's what's displaying. I could easily change this to percent of work complete, and then I could modify the title heading here as well. So I can change between those two. Percent complete is duration driven, whereas percent of work complete is looking at the total hours for the task and where you are. All right, so let's take a look at this milestones due report. All right, this is going to let me know my milestones down here and when they are due. Now I can change this. All right, so you'll see that over on the side, anytime I click on any of these charts or these areas of the components of the report, I'm going to have my field list that'll automatically display over here. And this one happens to be filtered for upcoming milestones. Now I can change this if I want to for, let's say, critical tasks. I have to scroll up a bit to the beginning of the alphabet. So I could come in here and change that to critical, and you'll see how now what I'm seeing is a list of all the critical tasks on in my project plan here. All right. Now, if I was going to change that, then what I might want to do is to also change the title. All right. So I could say critical task if I wanted to. All right, to match the data that's being displayed here. Now I also could, of course, come in here and change my font. All right, so I could edit my text and change it from here, or also just from up here, if I go to my task ribbon, I can change my font size from here as well. So these can easily be changed. But actually, another thing that I could do is, let's go back. I'm going to go back to that milestone report. And let's see if milestones due. All right, so I'm going to change this back for just a minute. I'm going to click on my chart so I get my field list back here. So you can see how you can change any of the components to fit how you currently track projects. All right, so now I have milestones that are coming soon, or actually, let's see. We can also look at late milestones if we needed to. I don't have any late milestones, so that's good. I could also just focus on this month. So I could say milestones due this month, and now we can see the targeted finish date here. And what I also could do here within this chart, let's just see if I have, let's expand enterprise fields, and let's see if I have, see if I have any deadlines associated. Okay, I do. All right. Okay, so I had to take an extra step in my project. I've created deadlines for my milestones within the project. So I did that on my own in my Gantt chart view by setting a deadline for each of my milestones so that I can track them. So what I'm looking at here is I like seeing the upcoming milestones that are due, but I also want to see whether or not I'm going to miss my deadline date for those milestones. So you can see how I am for these first few. Actually, looks like I'm missing it for all of them. All right, so I might need to go back into my project and take a look at that. But again, very easy to come in and change the components or the information, the data that you're seeing in this report. All right, so again, you can just come in here. I expanded enterprise, and these are your enterprise custom fields here. So now if you have additional custom fields, you can certainly bring them in. So when you're in a Gantt chart view, and let me just take you to a view real quick. Let me see what I did, kind of like that. I can go back to my Gantt chart view over here. All right, and if you wanted to, you could create a custom field. I'm not sure if you know how to do that. We're going to focus on that next month, but I'll just open this up for you. So if you create custom fields here, they could have lookup tables, they can have indicators if you wanted to. So maybe you have a schedule indicator for your task, red, stoplight, red, yellow, green. If you've created those, then you certainly can bring them in to the reports. All right, so let me use this to bring me back. If you're not familiar with this, these are navigation links down here, and it'll bring you to the last report that I was in. So, all right, so now I'm back here in my project overview report. All right, so if you have custom fields, you can certainly insert or add them here. All right, so they'll be available for selection underneath here. All right, so it's helpful to create those if you don't already have them. You'll see here that I also have duration fields, all right, and baseline information as well. So if I wanted to see my baseline duration, compare that against my actual duration, and I could also look at duration variance as well. All right, so lots of information available to you here right out of the box. This particular report right here, it's displaying by phase, and that's because you'll see here my outline level, right? My outline level right now is outline level 1, which is going to be my phases. Now, if I break this down to show all subtasks, we'll see how this information changes. All right, so let's see. Subtask, let's change that. Again, let's try that. Oh, there we go. That took a minute to do that. So this is a lot of information to display here. So probably not a very good, I would go back to outline level 1. I would take a look at this at the phase level here, all right? So again, you can change the outline level here. You can change the filter to incomplete task or whatever makes sense for the information and the data you're trying to display in here. The other thing too is that I can, as I'm changing these things, I can either rename my report here if I wanted to. So I can edit this project overview report and create a brand new one from this and rename it. I'm okay with project overview, so I'll leave that as is. I also could select copy report. Now this is a copy and paste function. So if I wanted to, if I made a bunch of changes, in other words, in here, and I wanted to share that with somebody in an email or a document or a PowerPoint slide, maybe it's a project kickoff or a weekly meeting, I can select copy report, and then I would right click and paste into my PowerPoint, and it would go ahead and paste my report in there for me. All right, so that's the difference between manage and copy. This is copy and paste, whereas manage gives you the opportunity to rename a report again. All right, so let's go, let's do one more thing to this report before we move on. All right, so now down here, I have the ability to add or create, again, customize this report here. So if I wanted to go to design, I can add an additional table. So for this specific example, I'll go ahead and do that. All right, so you'll see that I can add, well, actually, I'm going to undo that. I don't want to add a table. I'm going to add a chart. I'll show you the table in just a moment. And I am going to use, I'm going to do the sidebar. All right, and I'm going to click on OK. It's going to throw this in here for me. And I'm actually going to, I'm going to move this if I can grab it. There we go. I grabbed the wrong one. Let me try and grab the new one and move it down here. All right, now I can scroll down a little bit. All right, so let's talk about how we can add this new chart here. I'm going to move it over here. All right, so what we're looking at is remaining work and actual work, which, okay, that might be nice to look at. But I've baselined my project, so I think what I'd rather look at is my baseline work. Here we go. And then we go up or down. Tiny little window. All right, I don't want to see remaining work, and I don't want to see actual work. I want to see is work variance and work. And let's go to work variance. There we go. All right, so now what I'm looking at is my baseline work, then what's really happening in my project, and then my variance. All right, so this variance appears to be negative, so it looks like I actually reduced the amount of work for a specific task, so that it's lower than the original baseline. All right, and now it's showing it to me by phase. Again, I could break this out into all subtasks. Because I have this stacked this way, it would be a little bit easier to read than the way we had it earlier. So I could see each task listed here and check out my work variance for each of these. All right, so I can certainly see that. Now, each of these bars, let's see, if I take this baseline bar and I right click on this, I can go up here to my change series chart type. And now you'll see from my baseline, right now it's a clustered bar. I can actually change that from the bar to a line. All right, so I can now see my baseline information here. If I don't like the way that looks, I may just cancel out of here, all right, and leave it as is. I think it's easier to see the baseline compared next to the work variance. But again, right-clicking on the bar, change series chart type, and now you'll see how I can see the baseline work, and work variance, and I can change how that information appears within the chart right here. All right, so very easy to change that information there. But I'll leave that as is because I think I like the way that looks. Oh, but one thing I might want to do here is, let's see, how about a chart table? All right, because right now this is just thrown in here without a name. So let's say, let's name this work variance. Makes sense, right? So let's go ahead and change that to work variance. All right, and hopefully, I think I just left the W off. That's gracious. There we go. All right, so now I have my work variance chart. All right, so again, all I did is take advantage of the existing project overview report and make some changes and edits to that report. Another one that you may like to see is over allocated resources. This is a really good report as well. Let me just save my changes right here, and then we'll go to the resource and take a look at over allocated resources. All right, what are we looking at here? These are the resources on my project, and what I'm seeing is actual work and remaining work, and also the over allocation for each person defined by the color in that bar. In looking at this, I'm not real thrilled with the way this is laid out here. Actual work and remaining work doesn't really tell me though. Everything is stacked up right here. It's not really giving me an idea of why we're over allocated, when this is happening or occurring, etc. So I'm actually going to change this to, let's go down here again. And oh, what I need to do is I need to switch to resources. So I'm on resources here. So we were on a task field list earlier, so I'm on the resources. Now what I want to look at is up here. I don't want remaining work. Now we need to come up here. All right, if I remember how I did it the last time, I want to find I want to put in peak units. This is work. So on the resource. Yep, let's see. Let's see if I can change this to resource name. Yep. To all resources. There we go. There we go. Still not what I'm looking for. All right, I'm going to leave this one alone for a minute. Let me go back and put in my actual work and my remaining work. I'll figure this out in just a moment. I have an example that I can show you. There we go, actual work and remaining work. All right, so I'll go through this. It'll probably come to me in just a moment. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and create a new report. All right, so we've gone through and adjusted the existing reports here, but you also have the ability to create a brand new report as well. And you'll see that's right here. So if I select this drop down here, you can see that I can start from a blank report. I could create a chart, a table, or a comparison. All right, I'm going to go ahead and create a table, and I am going to name this one weekly to-do list. All right, so my weekly to-do list. Now, you automatically get this table here. It always has the project name, start, finish, and the percent complete. But what I want to do is, I don't know if I want this like that. And now that I've done that, I can move everything over here. So if I wanted to justify it, let's try that again. I can grab it and move it over to the left-hand side. all right? So, and all I did was highlight everything in here so I could move it the other way if I wanted to. So it's a quick and easy way to grab everything that you see here. The first thing is, this is kind of boring. The font size could probably be changed. Maybe I'll make that a little bit bigger. All right, I also can create some, well, I can go to my design, format tab here, and I can fill in with a different color. I'll stick with blue. So there we go. All right, and this guy here is really tall. So we can decrease the font size for this as well, so that we don't need to see this giant table. A little bit better, probably make it even smaller. Let's try 11. There we go. All right, so now I have a little bit more real estate. Now also, I don't necessarily want the name to wrap. That's probably a little bit too. There we go. And we can manipulate each of these columns pretty easily, as you can see. And I'm just trying so that we don't see the name over here wrapped. Okay. So a weekly to-do list, and my thought process of this is that it would be kind of neat to be able to go into a status meeting with my team and copy this into a PowerPoint presentation and just go through their weekly to-do list. All right, so one thing I might want to add on here is resource names. So I'm going to expand this a little bit too, so we can see that. All right, and now I might need a little bit more room. All right. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to scroll through here. Oh, and also my outline level right now is at my project summary. So that's just showing the summary line of my project, which is project row 0. All right. So if I wanted to throw in all my subtasks or level 1, you'll see this is just by phase. But again, I don't have resource assignments at the phase level. So I need to break this down a little bit more. So if I go down to level 3, or if I also go down to, I might have a level 4 in here in this project template. All right, so you'll see here, now that I see a list of the resources, I also see tasks here and whether they're complete. So what I also might want to do is to filter this, not by all tasks, but maybe I just want to see tasks due this week. So these are all built in, all right? So let's task due this week. There we go. This is a built-in filter. I don't have to create it. So now I can see tasks that are due this week. And I'm actually going to, let's see if this works better. Okay, so now I can see all the tasks that are due this week for each of the resources. And I also could, if I wanted to make this a little bit easier, group it by resource. All right, so again, I got to change the outline level because otherwise it's going to just show the resource and high level what they have going on. So this is a great little to-do list that you could bring into a weekly status meeting here. All right, and I can see which tasks I have assigned to me. All right, so again, this is just by going in here, filtering by task due this week. I grouped it by resource. I could come in here and change the grouping color here, but that would not stick. So I'm going to leave it as the yellow here. And I did change my outline level so I can see specific task detail when the task starts, when it finishes. And if I change this to a high level outline, we'll see more specific tasks that are in here. All right, so again, just creating a simple table and modifying or manipulating the fields that are in the table. I added resource names, I changed the filter to task due this week, and then I changed my outline level and I grouped it by resource. All right, so this is my weekly to-do list. So let me go back here. All right, so now what I want to do, I'm going to leave this as is. I'm not going to change any of that. I like what I'm seeing here. So I'm going to leave it as is, keep it as simple as possible. But I do want to, I'm going to leave it as that. Okay, so click OK. I'm going to save my changes here. But the last thing that I want to show you is how we can create a dashboard. All right, so I go back to my reporting tab here. You'll see here that I can go here to dashboards or reports, and I can again create a new report. For this case, I'm going to actually just create a blank report, and I'm going to name it Project Dashboard. There we go, Project Dashboard. All right, I'm going to click on OK. All right, so again, I'm probably going to want to change my font size real quick. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Oh, I didn't do the whole thing. Sorry about that. Let's go to 28 for that guy too. There we go. All right, I used blue on the others, so let me go ahead and change this to blue. Make it consistent with what I was seeing. Oh, and I also want to insert an image. I'm going to brand this. So I am going to search for PPM Works logo. Let's see, should be in my document. There we go. Come on. PPM. There we go. All right, so I'm going to insert my logo here too. All right, so I'm going to drag this over here, and I can move this out of the way. So I can change that. All right, so you get the idea how you can very easily change what you're seeing here. All right, this I might want to move down here a little bit, move here. All right, so now what I can do is I can add those other reports to my dashboard. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create links to those reports. So let me come over to here. I'm not going to copy a report and bring it in here. What I'm going to do is actually go and use. All right, so I have my weekly to-do list. So let me start with my project dashboard. Excuse me. Let me start with my project overview. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so I can see it. All right, so I can see everything. I should have Snagit open somewhere. Not what I want up here right now. Awesome. All right, so where is my snipping tool? Or I could use the snipping tool if it's not going to. Or sinning if you can't spell. Here we go. My Snagit's not opening right now. All right, so what I could do is I can come in here and I can grab these. All right, and now I can go back to my report, custom report, project dashboard, and I can copy and paste that in here. And of course, I'm going to need to size that real quick. So let me just do a 3 so we can get this in here and pull this down. All right, so now I have a picture of my report right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the other ones as well. So I'm going to grab that this weekly to-do list is the one I want. All right. All right, so I'm going to snip this one too. See what my snipping tool is. All right, I'm going to go back again to my report and find my custom dashboard here, and I'm going to paste that guy in here too. I'll go ahead and format him. I did 3, so let's just keep it consistent here, and I'll do 3 again. All right, so you can see how I can put that underneath here too. Oh, I probably should have changed my project overview label so that it matches my blue here. All right, so I have this little dashboard here, but what I want to show you, I think this is pretty cool, and this will be the last thing that we go through, but I wanted to show you how you can create a link to this from here, so that when I click on the icon here, or the image, that I can actually create a link. So let me show you, this one first, because this one, or no, I'll start here. Sorry guys. All right, let me go to my link. All right, I'm going to go to place in my document. And now, if I scroll through, I have my project overview report. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to click on OK. All right, so what that does is it actually creates a link to that report, and it brings me directly to the report. So I think that's pretty cool, very helpful. All right, but let me go back here to my custom project dashboard, because if I try and do the same for my weekly to-do list, my project overview was one of the default reports, so it's already in there. But if I try and locate that link again for the weekly to-do list, you'll see that it's not going to be in this list. All right, so I have to take an extra step on this. And this is actually something I need to show you anyway. What I need to do is I need to take this report and copy it using the organizer. So if you've ever used the organizer, it's a great tool. All right, so what I did is I went to the file backstage, and if I go to the bottom of the info page, you'll see organizer, and I'm going to select organizer. All right, so again, file backstage, organizer, and now if I go to the reports tab here, you'll see my weekly to-do list, and I'm going to copy that into my global non-cached copy. All right, so I'm going to select copy. And now if I scroll down, I can see my weekly to-do list. Two reasons why I want to do this. Number one, it's going to help me create that hyperlink that I was just trying to do. But the other reason why I might want to do this is because I can share this report now with other projects. All right, right now this report is only visible in this market research project. But if I open up another project and I want to use the same report, this is how you would do that. You would copy it from here into your global non-cached organizer here, using the organizer, excuse me. And then when you open up your new project, you would copy it from here into that other project. All right, and that's how you can use these reports over and over again. All right, so the organizer is an extremely helpful tool. All right, so I'll go ahead and close this now that I've done that. I'll click my arrow back here. And now if I go ahead and right click on this image, and I click on link, I will now see my weekly to-do list here. All right, so I can click on OK. And now each of these is a link to those individual reports. All right, and now what I also could do is I could also use create the same thing over here using text boxes. So if I wanted to format this, I can use the same shape fill, and I can say project overview. All right, and now I can come in here and I can copy and paste that down here. All right, and then this one I can call weekly to-do list. All right, so what I could do is create those links here as well. To-do. Oops. To-do. Oh, my typing. Good. There we go. All right. So, and I can size these so that they're evenly sized and that they're matched, etc. I can change the color, you name it. All right. But again, if I select this, I can create a link. All right. So I'll create a link to project overview. All right. And then same here. And let's go down to the bottom. Weekly to-do list, click on OK. And now I'm going to create one more though. Should have done this. And it's going to link back to the dashboard. All right, so let's just you know what? Let me undo that. Just do what I did before. And copy and paste. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that because now I have the link in there. So text box. There we go. All right, so project dashboard. All right, and now again, I can change the format so the fill shape is the same, and then I can right click on this and create a link for my project dashboard. Oh, I didn't copy my project dashboard. Okay, cancel that, cancel that. I gotta go over here, back to the organizer again. Organizer, reports, project dashboard, copy, all set, go back. All right, do the same. And again, I would make these nice and evenly spaced. This is a little sloppy. I want to have time for some questions at the end. There we go. Although it's going to drive me crazy if it's not looking nicely. There we go. It needs to be a little bit bigger. All right, so I would take the time to make them look a little bit nicer. But what I can do is I also can, my thing is going on, I can copy these. I can copy these onto the weekly to-do list so that when I'm here, I can navigate back to the dashboard that may have all of the custom reports that I use. So I can create those links here as well. That will keep me from having to click on report, having to click on either the dashboard or the specific custom report that I'm looking for. All right, so again, taking what you see here and then applying it on each of the report pages so that it just provides that quick and easy navigation on going from one report to the other. Because otherwise you have to go back to the report tab, select the report. It'll save you a bunch of clicks. All right, and then I also might want to put in a text box here for design. Let's put in a text box that maybe explains what you can do here. Click on the report to navigate to, click on the report to navigate to the report page. Click on the report to navigate to the report. That sounds a little bit redundant, but you get the idea. We need to put something in here that is helpful, that explains that each of these is a navigation. Maybe to navigate to the report. To navigate to the report, click on the report, the picture, or the buttons, or buttons on the right side. Okay? All right. All right, so again, I would arrange this so it's a little bit neater, kind of resize everything, add additional custom reports that you've created or reports that you use. If there's 3 go-to reports that are here out of the box, go ahead and create this dashboard with these links so that you can easily get to them. It takes a couple minutes to do, but it'll save you a lot of time overall. And not only that, you can copy. Remember, you can use the organizer and use this over and over again from project to project. All right, so I do encourage you to get in here and sample these reports. All right, so take a look at these reports out of the box. They're great, but again, just very easy to customize each and everything that you see in here. All right, so lots of information. We didn't even really go through the chart elements, the formatting, and the filtering as well. So there's a lot to do. We could probably spend a good 3 hours in here really doing a deep dive in here. But hopefully I've given you enough to get you started on getting in here and practicing. Let me get to the end here. So I do have a couple of, I'm going to calls to action. Just want to review this real quick. Also remind you about your PDUs for the webinar. And then I'm going to stop sharing in a moment so that I can take a look and see if there's any questions in the chat window. All right, so again, go ahead and link in with me today if you'd like. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm a PPM specialist, again, with PPM Works, or link in with our company as well, so you can follow what we're doing and what we've got upcoming. Also register for, this is something I didn't talk about. This is tips and tricks immersion session. We've been delivering these. These are through the mid-December is the cutoff date for this quarter, but we're going to be starting them up again in the new year. It is called a customer immersion experience. It's Microsoft funded, and you can actually join us for a few hours. Lunch and breakfast are provided, and you get to actually dive deeper into these tools. So we would come on site to your organization and set up these sessions. So please go ahead and reach out to us if that's something that you're interested in. There's actually a link on our website that you can click on, and we can send additional information to you. And register for your PDUs, all right? So email us info@ppmworks.com, and we'll give you the information on how you can register.